would love to find a way to knock off the number one ranked team and final undefeated team in the sport of men's volleyball.
Right, to start things off. Early setter dump opportunity, but Gianni finds a way to keep things alive and sends it over. Free ball chance now. Back off the block, torn and down. Early energy from Moses Wagner. Didn't see the other night. Second on the team in kills with 110. Picks up his 111th right there to even things out.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't see a ton of him on Friday, but especially with the absence of Alex Rotman, got to imagine we're going to see a whole lot of Moses Wagner tonight.
Great pancake from Nick Slight. Or at least we thought it was a good pancake.
He was close. He's mad at himself. Just inches away from getting his hand under that one.
You see his hand go up right there. It's great work by camera crew to get that shot of Slight, who's had a fantastic, not only season, but career. That one right at Herndon. Slight right on cue, the joust. Herndon's there again. They'll say net violation on Will Rotman, who disagrees with the call, but an early break for the Lopes.
Yeah, it looks like they actually called it on Grand Canyon, so it's gonna be a 3-0 lead.
Ref originally had signaled towards GCU, but the correct call is made. So now it's Litsky. Too much on that one, and the Lopes do catch a break, and there's one of your keys right there. Service errors killed Stanford the other night.
Yeah, I mean, there's never a good time for a service error, but especially when you can start things off 3-0, you just want to keep the ball in play, not give them any free points.
Rogers roll serve. Litsky to Rotman. Slight's there. Herndon goes far side to Gianni, looking for the back corner. Litsky far side. Wagner can't keep it down. Gianni kept up by Litsky, an early, longer rally. Rotman, Rogers is there, well done. Defensively, both these teams stingy so far this afternoon. Too much. So the long rally ends up with a GCU point.
This is kind of how Friday night began as well. The kill attempts just were not dropping. It's kind of, I mean, we see it night in and night out from this GCU squad especially. They just get going as we get further into the match.
Rogers, an early service ace. Only had one the other night, but it came in a huge moment. And Carter Rogers with a big service ace.
When you're setting your rotation, there's a reason Carter Rogers is serving first.
Yeah. Litsky, back row to Ross. Slight's there, he doesn't mess up on that one. Cameron Thorne over the net. Herndon's there again. Both teams struggling to find the angle right now. What a dig. Thorne plays over. Litsky, quick ball. Herndon's there again. Several digs already on the night for Cooper Herndon. That one's up again. Thorne! Back corner shot, well done, CT.
Man, I am really impressed with this net defense on both sides right now. Deflections everywhere, bodies flying everywhere, and they're just keeping this ball up. That free ball over, however, leads to a Thorne kill.
Ooh, Carter Rogers trying to paint the tape on the near side. Couldn't quite do it, so a service error first of the night for the Lopes.
Starting this one off with a game of runs. 3-0 to 4-3, and now we'll see what Stanford can do on their way back.
Rotman, another killer. 2 already out of the 5 for GCU. Thorne right at Rotman in the back corner. Litsky, quick ball. Thorne was there, couldn't quite deal with it. As Herndon in the white libero jersey will check back in.
Definitely a play Thorne's not necessarily used to having to make, but he was at serve there. So a dig opportunity, just couldn't quite get to it.
Service right at Herndon. Gianni, first kill of the night. 2 previous attempts didn't go down, that one does. That's kind of the wave you get with Gianni. If he messes up twice in a row, you're not likely to get a third miscue.
Yeah, he doesn't fool you 3 times too often. Always finding the right location.
Oh, goodness gracious. Gianni with one heck of a serve. Rotman was expecting it to dip a little bit more and kind of hit him right at the top of the chest. And Gianni with a really good serve.
Yeah, Gianni's serve is something else. It's aggressive, but man, does it pay off at crucial times for the Lopes.
Gianni, another good serve. Litsky far side. DeRoss pokes it off of Thorne. That's a good play. It's awkward timing, so DeRoss just had to make a quick decision. Chooses to play it off Thorne, and it's a great play.
That's an improvisation there from DeRoss.
And a service ace this time for the red and white. That one coming from Moses Wagner. San Jose, California is where he calls home out of Bellarmine College Prep. Looking to make his impact tonight. Service finds the back corner. Cooper Herndon, we saw that the other night too. He gets confident thinking that that ball is going to roll out, and instead paints the tape, and there's a 3-point sequence right here for Stanford.
2 awesome serves from Wagner.
And that's a good call. I actually think that might have been the second time Moses Wagner stepped on the line, so they give him the error there. He was getting close to it. Maybe he didn't step on it previously, but trying to ride that line as much as possible. Litsky, back row of Rotman. Hagman was in position, just moved over to his right slightly in prep. And it results in the Rotman kill for Ross now. To Ross, right at Herndon. Set down, Will Rotman. One of those situations where right place, right time, ball right over the net, right at him.
And a guy that will take advantage of that 10 times out of 10.
Too much from DeRoss. The lead is cut to just 1. Matt Worley and his coaching staff seems calm most of the game. You don't see him get too amped up, even when he has disagreements with officiating crews. He doesn't typically get too over anxious.
Not at all.
I mean, it helps when you're 14-0 and playing pretty darn good volleyball. Rotman looking to get in an early groove. He's already got 2 kills. Gianni in a groove as well. Back corner ball. We're tied at double digits.
And he fooled the entire gym going back to Gianni. And Gianni still had to get through a couple defenders of the net and threw that one right down the line. Look at that.
Rico Wardlow now to serve. Just depth in fold for this GCU squad as the service error goes long. Wardlow, we'll touch on him more as he gets more opportunities in that middle blocker spot, but .536 hitting percentage last year. That's a program record for GCU. And a lot of players might think, well, I got the record, that's all right. Kind of just sit on it, maybe have a down year. He's hitting .05 above what he did last year, currently at a .558%. He would love to set that record even higher and not let anybody coming up get a chance to take it away from him.
Another service error for Stanford. It's number 5 for the Cardinal. 11 points for Grand Canyon, 5 coming from service error. You wonder how differently sets will look if they can just clean things up.
Litsky to Rotman, off Gianni and down. Stanford goes up. Yeah, I mean, you look at the stat categories and everything points to a better first set for Stanford. 5 kills, only 1 attacking error, 6 digs, a block, and all that, and a higher hitting percentage fairly large, 3.57 to just .200 for the Lopes. But it doesn't matter if you cannot serve the ball. Rogers is denied. And we're going to have a warning on Will Rotman as well, because he went right at Carter Rogers. You see it right here. Here's the block, and let it play through here. You see him look right at Carter Rogers, say a little something.
And that's that banner we were talking about that we knew was going to roll over from Friday. Stanford team that they'll talk their talk, but they're looking to back it up today.
He has a little conversation with the up ref. Not going to quite put him in timeout, but understand that. I mean, that's just volleyball, too, especially at this level. These guys love playing the sport so much. It's just competitive. Gianni, tip off the block. Litsky looking for Rotman again. What a dig that is from Hickman to keep things alive. Gianni, perfect spot. And that's a big point. Some talking going on. Stanford has a chance to go up 3, heading close to the media timeout. And Gianni capitalizes in a big moment like he usually does.
Well, a good dig from Jackson Hickman. Gets GCU out of system, but a nice pass from way behind the line. And Gianni does the rest.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Carter Rogers, second service ace of the night so far. His development has been some of the most impressive progression I think I've ever seen. Carter Rogers, nearly another one. Litsky, Wagner pokes it over, well done. 14-13.
Well, these past couple of years, Carter's been able to purely focus, or at least put more of his focus on the serve, as that was kind of the role he was asked to take over. And now that he's playing set after set in an opposite hitter role, he still has that serving skills.
Cameron Thorne, well done, 14-14. Eerily similar to that first set we saw a couple of nights ago. Back and forth action right at the media timeout was 15-14. Lopes would love to be in the lead heading into the break. Litsky, slight, Lopes have a chance. Thorne, a rare set from him. Gianni, look at slight, point right at Cameron Thorne and say, there's a little assist for you, and then a celebration as well. You gotta love it. 15-4 set across everything. I mean, cheer and dance consistently winning national championships. The band with as many prestigious awards as you have, and then men's volleyball team ranked #1. You're in a pretty good spot as a university. DeRoss, blocked to the back corner. Wardlow, Gianni's there as well. I think he'll take credit for it.
Well, we wondered coming into today's match if, you know, there would be a defensive game plan on both sides to maybe try to slow down Will Rotman, try to slow down Camden Gianni, but here they are again, leading their squads in the stat categories that matter.
Blocked again. Quick ball, kept up by Wardlow, well done. Thorne to the back corner, too much. We saw one just like that the other night off a crazy long rally, and Thorne had a chance, and he just puts a little bit too much on it, trying to find that exact back corner and can't do it.
That's a play they're going to let him attempt any game, at any moment, because they do trust him. Just an execution thing.
Gianni blocked. Wardlow's there. Slight to Wardlow. Near side ball. Sent down. This triple tower right now is tough to stop. Near side to Hickman off a good set. Too much. Tied up at 16, and there's 2 big opportunities the Lopes had to extend their lead. Gone awry.
Well, it starts in the middle of that rally. Stanford able to stop Rico Wardlow's quick ball. I mean, that one we see go down way often. It's got to feel like a momentum builder mid-rally when you can stop that.
Slight to Gianni. Rotman, good dig. Litsky to DeRoss. Carter Rogers is there. Slight back row, Rogers. And they're going to call it out unless overruled by the up ref. We're going to have a challenge card. That's one of those weird ones because the line judge has the best look at it.
Man, it was close, wasn't it?
So we are going to see a challenge here from John Costi.
So we saw the line judge call it out, but
Yeah.
overturned by the up ref.
Yes. And John Costi, if there's anybody else in the arena that had a better view at it than the line judge, it's him. He's standing right there by that back corner. Felt pretty confidently that that ball was out. And this is another big call.
Oh, that's in by a mile, right?
We'll see
If
again
this is the
here.
right play, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, by a couple feet,
Yeah.
it looked like. The thing's in by
Which just tells you how fast that ball was
Yeah.
moving
I mean,
for that play to be challenged.
unless on the small chance that they're looking at something else at the net.
Seems like a quick review. Oh. What did we see?
Tried to listen in to PA announcer Paul the Newser as to what to call, because it certainly could not have been whether or not that ball was in or out, because
Right.
it certainly was in.
Potentially in the net.
Herndon keeps it alive. Gianni all the way over to Hickman. And that one finds the back corner for tip. I mean, what an absolutely ridiculous set that is from Camden Gianni. And we also are now getting word that it was an error by Carter Rogers is why that point was given to Stanford. Herndon can't keep it up, so point to the Cardinal. And that makes sense, the attack error from Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, the ball was in for sure, so. That clears that up, but man, would this be this first set's just so massive for Stanford.
Not even from just a point characteristic, but from just a confidence. Gianni, well done. Quite a good set from a fan in the fourth row as well. Sets it right back onto the court. Surely a former volleyball player up there. If I was in the fourth row, I'm not so certain I would have made it look as pretty as that. Hickman into the net. Well, you can afford just a couple of those because that's only the third service error for the Lopes. To the 5 for Stanford. Still want to cut as many of those out as possible.
Theron Briette in to serve for Stanford. They had Fitz trying to close out this Lopes team with late leads in sets 2 and 3 Friday night.
Rogers, no error that time. 19-19. And that's what's so lethal about this team is when Slight has those fakes to Rico Wardlow flying in the middle, the block has to go to Wardlow. Because if there's no block there, Rico Wardlow's,
game over. Yeah.
It's game over. He's not missing that opportunity. And then Rogers is there to clean it up, and it's just pretty. Jared Anderson now in. He had a big stretch the other night in set number 2. It's tough to come in and serve when you're sitting over there from the game.
Yeah.
It's the same way when you got a great player in basketball who sits on the bench all night and then maybe comes in and misses a couple shots. It's tough to still be warmed up and in a groove when you're over there. Anderson with the miscue. Gianni back row. Ooh, good kill.
Going back to Anderson, we saw him make a service error in a very crucial, a tied ball game. I think it was 24-24 when he came in. Service error. Matt Worley went right back to him in sets 2 and 3, and he came through for his team.
You love the confidence from Matt Worley to go with a younger guy. Rogers. Roll shot, not enough on it. Let's ski back row. Wagner still alive. Can Slight get it over? I believe that'll be 4. Slight didn't have quite the power he needed.
That would have been something else.
Yeah. We saw a play the other night on Friday where a Stanford player, I believe was Will Redman, that ran underneath the net to the other side to keep, then played it back to his side.
Yep.
And then over. The plays that these guys are able to make, it's just truly remarkable. Back row Hickman, that's perfect. Underappreciated is Cooper Herndon. It's one thing to keep the ball up. It's another thing to put it in a perfect position to Nick Slight for the assist.
Yeah, those two just work so cohesively well. I mean, he gets it exactly where Nick Slight needs it.
Gianni, Slight. Rogers to Gianni. Litsky, near side Rotman. Blocked away, Slight readjusts to the set. And Gianni just has to play it over. Wagner, big kill. It was that one moment where Gianni didn't feel like he was in quite the right spot that ultimately turned that point around. 22-21, Stanford now. We got another great match on our hands.
Here we go. Expect an aggressive serve here.
Slide to Thorne. Highlight of the night so far.
That
what
is so
an assist.
clutch.
Oh my goodness.
That's so clutch. I mean, a beautiful serve from Will Rotman that looked like it was going to lead to a free ball over and probably a kill to give Stanford a 2-point lead. But Slight brings it back, and Thorne was ready for it.
Litsky near side to Wagner. Denied into the face. Jackson Hickman. How about that? What a play.
Just playmakers all over the court for
yourself in a coming off the bench. You can't let the nerves get to you in a moment like this. Jackson Herr, right at Will Rotman. Litsky, far side to Ross, into the net, down. One away are the Lopes from a first set victory in which they've looked as good as they have all season. Jackson Herr, how fun would this be? Right at Rodman, and it's gonna do it! A service ace from Jackson Herr. 3 straight points from the sophomore, 25.
In game one, Will was fired up, as he may be right now, and he turned it into quite the run offensively. He ended up with 18 kills. He had a slow start and got his hit percentage up to 395. So if anything, it's just going to maybe turn things on for him here in set number 2. But yeah, the intensity's there, folks.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to poke the bear a little bit. Right. We saw it in the NBA. Villainizer himself, Dylan Brooks, came out and said, "Oh, I poke bears for a living. I'm not LeBron anything on me." And then LeBron James came out and dropped 40 on his head. And so sometimes it's not the best idea to go chatting with some of the best players in the country. And Will Rotman, no doubt, is going to want to back it up. And even you see some of the earned respect and leadership as well. Rotman's up there dapping up with Jackson Hickman and Cameron Thorne. Again, these guys have played against each other for years. This isn't the first time they're seeing each other. So all that to be said, set number 2 starts right now.
Here we go.
Litsky, too much on the serve, 1-0. Rogers to kick things off. The only thing that makes all that better is the fact that there are 2,000 screaming fans here to witness it all. Blocked to the back row. Camden Gianni and the Lopes are in a rhythm right now, and they are not looking to be knocked off their stride.
Gianni, 6 kills, 1 assist, 1 service ace, 1 dig, and 1 block in set number 1. There's another block for you.
Carter Rogers with the Travelers service ace back to his side, 3-0, and 3 service aces on the night. Carter Rogers putting his mark on tonight's matchup. Carter Rogers again with the power this time to Rotman. Too much. 4-0 in the Antelopes. Wanting to run away with it. See if Stanford has anything to say about that. Carter Rogers, another really good serve. Herndon almost keeps it up. Cooper Herndon lets him know that's on me. Slight was in a not quite a spot to get there.
You wondered coming into this one, will there be maybe a sense of complacency after beating these guys in straight sets on Friday? Maybe a slower start than they were looking for as Gianni gets his 7th kill. And yeah, they may have slowly started this one out, but after getting that first set, there's a chance they could run away with things. We saw last weekend versus USC, they won in 4 sets, but game 2, they just turned on and swept the Trojans. See if it's similar this weekend.
Gianni blocked down, well done from Stanford to cut the deficit to just 3. Haven't seen Teo Snooey tonight either. 9 kills from him the other night. Another one of their playmakers that when he's not on the floor, it's tough to really get in a rhythm for Stanford. Slight, Wardlow. DeRoss keeps it up. Wagner sent down. Slight finds a way to get there. Hickman. And these last couple points for GCU have been a little nervy. Not quite where they want to be. And in a moment like this, you got to find a way to extend the lead. You don't want to allow a team like Stanford to stick around. Light looking for Hickman. And nobody saw the ball. 6-5 off the Jackson Hickman kill.
I really expected to see Jackson Hickman have a bigger day, bigger presence than he did on Friday night, just with the emphasis on finding a way to stop Camden Gianni, and quick 3 kills for Jackson.
Gianni, power serve, 7-3.
I don't know if they're making this a secret at this point, but they're going right at Will Rotman when he's on that back row.
Gianni into the net that time. Stairs haven't been as big a story because they're a little more even tonight. 5 for the Lopes, 6 for Stanford, but other than the 2 this set for GCU, been pretty clean tonight. Gianni, that one was going out, but Moses Wagner couldn't pull off it in time, so 8-4.
Nick Slight not messing around today. He's gonna go to his guy, Gianni.
Litsky, Rotman back row. Does a good job to avoid the net on the follow through. DeRoss, 2 kills, 2 digs, a block tonight. Solid performance. Heads back to serve. Right at Herndon. Slide ball all the way to Gianni, and Gianni with a big smile on his face. Almost laughing at that one a little bit. You wonder kind of what that's about. These guys just play with so much joy.
Man, wouldn't you be having fun if you were
Yeah.
Camden Gianni?
Yeah, I think I would. I think if I could jump like that in general, forget volleyball, just having a 35-plus vertical, I'd be happy. And is he going to get enough? Not quite. Free ball, though. Good chance for the Lopes. To Rogers. Control that time. Well done by the dig leader in black. Turner. Cameron Thorne. He's the former MPSF Defensive Player of the Week for a reason. Cameron Thorne, a do-it-all for this Lopes team. 62 blocks now on the year. 87 kills on the year. .462 hitter. I'd like to see him get above that 500 mark by the end of the year. Wardlow. Service ace. Everybody's picking up service aces now. And a much-needed timeout for Stanford.
Things are starting to spiral for Stanford.
And that set has been all GCU so far. We do see Teo Snooey for the first time tonight. See if that turns things around at all. Stanford's typically solid out of timeouts. See if they can turn things around with Teo Snooey, the 6'8" sophomore out of Berkeley. Slight back row from Gianni, kept alive. Looking for Wagner, too much, and there was no tip. So point Lopes, 12-6 now.
Good idea from Wagner, go down line, just a little far on it.
Kept up by Slight. Gianni, Litsky, looking for Wagner. Herndon thought about jumping over the bench, and I think Matt Worley and the rest of his squad said, all right, we want you to have you maybe for the rest of the year. Don't need you jumping over a couple of chairs, risking yourself for one ball. Although you appreciate that he was willing to sacrifice his body for that play, Brady. Commitment on all levels. Side out Lopes off of a 7th service error for Stanford.
Stanford, through most of that first set, leading the Lopes in the hit percentage category. That percentage has plummeted for the Cardinal.
Hickman, well done. You love that ace, essentially, for Carter Rogers.
Right.
Play it over to the other side. Tough serve and set up Jackson Hickman. Rogers wants another. 5 service aces for Captain Rogers. 15-7. Carter Rogers having himself a night, and another timeout from the red and white.
Serves were a big story in game 1, but in the opposite direction, service error. Stanford has done a good job of resetting after a timeout, coming in with a good game plan. They have quite the job to do to even this one out before things get out of control.
I mean, are you kidding me? What can't this man do? I mean, he comes with the power. Then he puts some spin, goes to the back corner.
Yep.
Then that time goes with the roll serve. Catches Stanford off guard. I mean, Carter Rogers, after a service error, which I think he is allowed 1 or 2.
We'll let that one slide, Carter.
Rotman right at Herndon. Slight for Thorne. Quick kill. 17-8. A commanding extension of the lead for GCU. 17 points in this second set, making it a 9-point advantage. Cameron Thorne, can he get in on these service aces? Slight good dig. Thorne, he wants a second assist tonight, and he'll get it. I mean, that kill is not going to get a lot of love, but, I mean, the precision to go cross-court when the triple block presents itself, outstanding.
These guys are rolling in all facets of this game.
Thorne right at Rotman. Far side ball, Wagner off the block. Rogers with the dive.
So it looks like we have Carter Rogers at 5 service aces right now, which, looking at the record books, in an individual match, Camden Gianni has the record with 7, coming in 2021 versus USC. I'd love to see Carter get out close to that number today. Also, Michael Milstein had 7 in 2014.
I mean, Carter Rogers has 5 through about a set and a half. You got the stats on whether or not those games went more than 3 sets, Braden? I don't know how deep our stats go.
Couldn't tell you on that one, but probably a good chance it went 4 or 5 sets, right? I mean,
especially playing against USC in 21. Who was that 14 match against for Michael Milstein?
University of California, Mercer.
Gotcha. That game maybe was 3.
It may have been 3.
Gianni looking to the back corner. Side ball. Off the block and down, well done.
I mean, we've talked about how high up Carter Rogers throws that ball before he comes down with the heat-seeking missile of his serve. But he has the same trajectory on his lob when he does hit that roll shot. It's so hard to stop. You don't see it coming.
Nick Slight, far side to Hickman. To the back corner of Will Rotman. Teo Snooey gets on the board.
You imagine head coach John Costi for Stanford just wanted to try to change things up coming into today's matchup. Left Snooey out of the lineup, but that only lasted so long.
Slight to Gianni. Another big kill. Extends the lead to double digits.
Gianni doing whatever he wants at this point. 11 kills with a hit percentage right about 500 today.
Slight back row from Hickman. Good block. Oh, a near bicycle kick from Camden Gianni. That would have been quite the highlight.
Kevin Lamp into the game for Stanford.
Service from Snooey off of Cooper Herndon's back. The lead is cut just to 8, 21-13.
Herndon making the right call to let that one go by, but just couldn't get under it. He needs to stop, drop, and roll there, I think.
Big kill.
It's a rarity.
Yeah.
From Nick Slight. I mean, he does not to put the ball in the wrong position.
A rare kill from Nathan Litsky, too. Right place, right time, puts it down. Snooey and Herndon. Slight to Gianni. Lopes trying to avoid all complacency and make this a big victory. And Nick Slight, right on cue, makes up for his mistake. 22-14.
Slight just has this awesome understanding of what the opponent is going to do. He knew there was going to be a free ball over, but he said, let's not waste any time. This point's going to be ours. I'll slam it down.
Wardlow with a roll shot, almost got the kill. Quick kill right there from Nathan Litsky, who's getting much more involved now in the attacking aspect of the game. It's his second kill, 15 assists. Too much on that one.
That feels like the dagger here in set number 2. 2 points away from a 2-0 lead for this number 1 ranked Lopes.
Nick Slight. Quick one that time from Nathaniel Gates. 23-16 Lopes. Still just 2 away from closing out set number 2 and taking a 2-0 advantage. Into the block and down. 23-17. Well, this was
let's see.
Exact same score we saw on Friday night, and GCU found a way to come back and win that third set. Stanford looking to have some deja vu, but on the opposite side of things and find a way to get a win.
Man, do they need it.
Gianni to Rogers. Well done. Puts a hush on the run and moves it to 24-17.
And look who's going to get served this potential last point for Grand Canyon. That's Carter Rogers. Looking for number 6.
Not gonna quite get it. Nathaniel Gates. Up and down. Well, we were looking for that stat. It was a Michael Milstein's 7 service aces against University of California Merced back in 2014, in a year the Bobcats went 4-13. The Lopes went 14-18 back in 2014. Carter Rogers just 2 aces away from finding that title at 7. Gianni had 21 against USC. I want to give him his flowers as well. 25-18, second set victory. We'll be back with Nick Slight looking to get things going alongside Herndon, Hickman, Rogers, Gianni, Thorne, Gates, Snooey, Rotman, Turner, Wagner, and closing things out is the newly appointed starter for Stanford, which is Theron Briette. Saw him a couple times the other night, rocking that MJ23. Another good serve right at Rogers. Gets Slight out of position. Gianni off the block. We're tied at 1 apiece. And everybody can sit down. Well, if Rogers wants that record, it's going to have to come right now at the beginning of this set, get 1 or 2.
Probably gonna need 2 or 3 opportunities to serve here in this third set. But yeah, he could use one now.
Oh, I thought maybe he was gonna get one right there. Herndon does a good job getting to it. Hickman far side to Gianni. Well done.
My goodness.
You can see Rogers just kind of doing the old, let's keep going, guys, signal. And how much of that is, let's keep running up the lead, and how much of it is keep giving me serves. I want this record. I doubt he's probably thinking about it right now. But when you're in a groove like he is right now, it's just keep getting him serves. Blocked, Cameron Thorne at the net. Well done, 3rd block of the night.
Even if Carter isn't getting the service ace, he's still impacting the ball that's gonna be coming back towards them. And so far, it's working. Lopes up 3-1.
Too much from Rogers. 3-1, or 3-2 now, excuse me. Rotman right at Herndon. Oh! Are you kidding me? What a play from Nick Slight.
He is one of the smartest volleyball players I've ever seen. And that was unreal. We've seen him, I guess he just set these guys up through the last 5 sets of volleyball, because we've seen him bring that ball back so many times.
Oh my gosh.
And he just let it go.
And the only thing that allows him to do that, as Hickman looks to kill it, Rotman keeps it alive. Briette to Wagner, blocked. Blocked again, still alive. What a rally this is. Gianni ends it. What I was saying is the only reason that Slight is allowed to do that, no other player or no other team is getting faked by any other player than Slight, because he's about the only player in the country that can get up to those balls and play them back. When the ball's that high, most blocks are just gonna back up and play it.
Right.
But with Slight, you have to fear that he's gonna find a way to poke it back to the middle blocker. So you have to be in the block. And Slight, I mean, that is just Houdini work from Nick Slight.
And you could see the smiles on his teammates' faces, like, yeah, we've seen that one before. Yeah, we fell for that one in practice before.
Gianni, another kill. I got to go back at some point and watch the reaction of head coach Matt Worley and see what he was thinking in that moment. You just got to, how much of it is you trying to maintain the professionalism of being a head coach and also just being proud of your boys, saying, we're up 6-3 in a 3rd set. And that's a beautiful play from Slight, but a service error from Gianni cuts it to just 2. And also, you have to understand for the Stanford standpoint. Teo Snui not playing much in those first couple sets for unknown reasons. Alex Rotman out tonight. So they're a little undermanned, but it's still been so much of GCU's hard work. What a dig from Rogers. Gianni, oh, he wanted that one bad.
Stanford needs to figure out a way to cover that cross-court ball from Gianni because he continues to hammer it just inches away from getting that one down for his 16th kill.
So much of volleyball is quick cut decisions. In the moment you're in the air, you have to decide, where am I going with this ball? And it's why so many players struggle, because you can't think that fast at times when the ball's coming at you from the setter. Gianni just seems to play in slow motion. Always feels like he has extra time to decide what he wants to do.
Oh, because he does. Because he gets higher than normal people go. He just has a way of, hanging out in the air and scanning where he wants to go. And he's like, all right, I'll go there this time.
Slight. Gianni from the back row, too much. And just like that, first lead we've seen in a while since the 1-0 mark from Stanford. Jackson Herr steps up to his teammates and says, all right, guys, let's calm down. We cannot allow complacency to creep in here. Slight to Gianni. Big kill. This is one of those workhorse moments where he's hungry. Feed the beast. Continue to feed him when he's in a groove like this. 16 kills, hitting a .45 right now.
And it just seems like the obvious play that Slight's just going to continue to go to Gianni, but when Slight does the tricky plays that he pulls off all so often, let's hope he's okay.
You could tell it looked like he was grieving in pain, but it was more frustration that he couldn't get to that ball.
Anyways, to finish my point, Slight is completely in this Stanford team's head because you just don't know where the guy's going. And it opens up Gianni.
Rogers. Well, he's got those service aces and 5 digs as well, but he hasn't had the attacking success he'd been hoping for tonight. That's just his 3rd kill. But he hasn't needed to. When you have 5 aces on the night, you've kind of put in the work you need to.
He's done his part.
Wardlow. Wardlow can't quite get there, so it's another Will Rotman kill.
Rico's still looking for his first kill of the night. And it's nothing against these guys with, lower numbers than usual. It's just simply a big time performance from Camden Gianni today.
And the thing that maybe gives you a little confidence if you're Rico Wardlow, being a little worried about your percentages dipping, is he's only taken or attempted 2 kills. So all he's got to do is go in and get a little pair of kills, and he'll be right back at it.
Pancake.
Ball rolls off the net from Gianni, and yeah, what a pancake that is from Cooper. It kind of goes unnoticed as we're in conversation, but what a play that is.
Yeah, that was something else. Kept that play alive, and then, lets Gianni get his 17th kill.
Far side, Rotman. Slights there. Herndon. Right to Rogers. Great hustle from Stanford to keep it alive. Slight. What a kill. Jackson Hickman from the back row. And that is why this GCU team is on pace to win a national championship this year. You get them out of system. Everyone in the world thinks it's going to 17 kill Camden Gianni. Wardlow goes up for one last deke. And who finishes it off but Jackson Hickman? Timeout from the Stanford Cardinal. They need to have a quick move right now.
A slow start in the attacking aspect of this game, but up to 328 hitting percentage. They are in control right now, and it all starts with Nick Slight he's been able to control where this one's going. He's put his players in great positions to succeed.
Excellent dig from Slight, and Herndon can't capitalize off of it. Slight to Gianni. Good dig from Rotman. Excellent kill. Rotman soars up to the triple block and sends it down.
We see Rotman go with the power often. That time he just finesses it around the block with a nice tap off the tip of their fingers. Brings us within 1 point.
Slight to Thorne. And that's the biggest point of the night because it was 12-9 out of the timeout. Stanford, 2 quick points, looking to tie it up. And then Thorne, that's a big one just to get the Lopes back in control. Far side ball, too much and no tip. So point Lopes. You see that right here from Carter Rogers. The second he goes with the roll, every single player on Stanford screaming out, roll, roll. Wagner. Hickman just somehow gets it over. Blocked and almost painted the tape. Couldn't quite do it though. 14-12 now.
Hopefully we'll see one more serve attempt from Carter Rogers. See if he can get that number to 6 or 7, as he has 5 service aces on the night.
Gianni, big shot, but a good dig from Wagner, and then it's all the way over to the candy cane. 15-12. Lopes just 10 away. Thorne digs it up, but it's out of bounds.
Again, to remind viewers, this Grand Canyon team that is 14-0, that is the only undefeated team in the nation. They've only dropped 4 sets this season, and they've only dropped 1 set in each of those instances. They've never dropped more than 1. Today, hard to imagine they're going to be able to drop a 3rd set.
And that right there is a perfect example of why that play earlier worked. I mean, that ball's basically on the other side of the court, and Slight plays it back to Wardlow, who gets his first kill tonight. Yeah, the top 10 looks like Grand Canyon at 1, the only undefeated team, just a few points above Long Beach State at 2, which is the 1 loss. Hawaii, UCLA, UC Irvine, Penn State, Ohio State, BYU, Stanford, and Pepperdine. Gianni keeps it up. Slight gets it, and Hickman pokes it off the block. What a play from Jackson Hickman. It's plays like that. It's like not only is GCU an incredibly consistent team and poised all of the time, but they also find a way to make the flashy plays that you need in moments like that.
It's just such a smart play. I mean, it really is a mix of incredible talent.
The off march, and then UCLA and Pepperdine at home to close things off. 17th, 20th of April, the MPSF Championship in Long Beach.
And just 2 more games here at Global Credit Union Arena, which is just crazy. But if you're watching this at home and you have an opportunity to get down to this arena, get here for that Pepperdine matchup. Got to pack this place out for these guys. April 11th and 12th. Thursday and a Friday.
I mean, that's another top 10 matchup, too. The Lopes have had many of those, not only this year, but in the past decade as the Lopes have moved into this conference and started to be a part of some of the best volleyball played in the country. Slight, well, that's the 3rd variation of that play.
And I'm sure he's got more.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some type of flip or something that he's capable of to make it even flashier. But the dump right there, the assist earlier, and the fake, which I don't think I've ever even seen before. Snooey to Hickman. Gianni, back row. He's chasing 20, which he's done a couple times in his career, and he's at 18 right now. A couple might be stinting it a little bit. He's done 20 many a time in a GCU uniform. It's tough to do it when you do it through 3 sets, though. Back corner, well done, Teo Snooey.
Yeah, potential 3-set 20-kill performance. That's when you're getting to a point where you need to understand how talented this guy is, if you don't already.
I mean, he's worn the red, white, and blue for his country as well. He's done it at the club level, high school. He's done it just about everywhere. And now he's making the case for one of the best players in the nation. And he's doing it all from a building program. This isn't a program that's got national championships under their belt, been around since the 70s and 80s like at USC or UCLA. Built from the ground up early 2000s and have slowly steadied themselves into one of the best programs in the country. Rotman kept up by Wardlow. The southpaw with a dig. Far side to Rotman, blocked again, but it's down on GCU's side. Slight kicks it out of there in frustration. 21-16. Well, you can never count Stanford out. It's just tough to feel like they're in it when GCU is as demanding as they've been. Rogers, that one is blocked all the way up into the stands by the Thunder and Hurt Pep Band. I thought that one was coming straight for us, Braden.
Man, that had some serious power behind it halfway up the stands.
Yeah, that might be the highest I've seen a ball off a kill like that fly up into the stands. You don't see that very often. Rotman, too much. 23-16, 2 away is Grand Canyon.
Nice
Wagner
play.
kept up by Hickman. Rogers, roll shot. Listen, I don't want to overstate this performance or give credit where credit's not due, but the Lopes, they look like the best team in the country. There's just no other way to put it. They are playing outstanding volleyball. Slight into the net.
They really are. I mean, there is no aspect of this team that...
There's no holes, it doesn't feel like.
There's no holes. Yeah, I mean, there's no weakness. They're all on the same page, and they just get it done night in and night out.
Into the net. It's not as poetic as maybe you were hoping for, but service errors have been a trend all weekend long, and the Lopes improved to 15-0 after a dominant performance. There's a caveat, no Alex Rotman tonight for Stanford, but then you look at Friday, even with Rotman, the Lopes got it done in 3, a weekend sweep.